just dawned on me that you ain't coming back. I've lost my chance to see us find our way back. And in the end, amidst these trying times, I'll always try to find you. I'll lie to you to find the truth that you hold back. So stay with me. You know that I'll follow. I can't breathe. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay. Dramatically talk to me, and it's so funny, you're all I wanted, and I can't talk, want you out of my life, so say none. I'll wait for days if you ain't one, I'll say none. So stay with me, you know that I'll follow. I can't breathe, together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The three wide again, Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across, they're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
But before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1,200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been loved and a terrific show out.
Gregory now, I love it. 18.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening indeed, and welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to another 3 rounds of the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series, sponsored by Butt Kicker. It's fantastic to be at this circuit. I'm really excited for this one. This is Magny-Cours in France, Circuit de Nevers Magny-Cours, and this is an ex-Formula 1 venue that used to be one of my very favourite circuits on the calendar. It's a real shame that the likes of Formula 1 don't go there these days, but then again, it's not a circuit that's just a fast-flowing and never-ending sort of mass of just round, smooth corners, which is all that it seems that modern-day F1 cars are built to manage, which is a real shame, because this is an amazing circuit. There's so many great overtaking opportunities, so many ways for drivers to set up moves here, and I think we're going to have a very good night of it. Here are your current championship standings coming into this meeting. Michael Hafliderson is now second, 2 points clear of Michael Avdoka, but at the top it's Alex Davidson that has opened up that gap even further, nearly 100 points clear now at the very top. Matthew Crisp in 4th place for AM Racing Team ahead of Christoph Kurekis. Then we have Jesper Eriksson just behind him in 6th. Maciej Sakovic and James Neve separated by 1 point at the top of the AM Championship. We're going to have to keep our eye very firmly on those two towards the end of the season. And I know there's going to be a lot of great battles going on between those guys. And of course, Pete Newman and Ian Manners are rounding out your top 10 at the moment. Ian having a really good sort of resurgence in the later part of the season. This is how things look right now, though, as qualifying is underway. We've got 10 minutes left to go here, and it's this man, Alex Davidson, that is currently the fastest out of everybody. And you'll see that around this tight and twisty circuit, the drivers may struggle. That was Chateau d'Eau, or Chateau d'Eau, which is basically water, the water house, down towards Complex du Lycée, through this tight right-hander, through the very difficult last chicane. It's an interesting last sector, to be fair. It always has been here at Magny-Cours, but since it got changed years and years ago, it's been even more challenging as Davidson goes fastest and improves a gap, opening up to 0.6 of a second there, actually. Very solid lap indeed. Hafliderson is 3rd behind his teammate Matthew Crisp, the two of them racing for AM Racing Team. We look here at Maciej Sakovic, who is currently top of the AM Championship, like I said. Only by 1 point, though, over James Neve, so it's going to be close tonight. We need to keep our eye on who outscores who and when and how and by how much, and, well, lots of maths to be done. But we're not at the end of the season yet. After this, we have 2 more race meetings. We go to Twin Ring Motegi in Japan, which is going to be a really cool meeting. I'm looking forward to that one. And then we finish the championship at Daytona. And again, Daytona is going to be a real belter. Great circuit to travel to. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Magic's going to be pushing hard to make sure that he beats this man, James Neve, who's currently just going through the middle sector of the lap at the moment. Look at the way they have to commit through here. You've got to be so careful not to get an off track and balance the car and make it turn in. I've been playing a lot of Gran Turismo 7 recently, so this view is sort of normal to me right now, and I tell you what, it looks like these cars don't understeer half as much as they do over on GT. But these wonderful little GR86s, really squirty bits of kit. Their direction change is very impressive. Bad look of it, actually. It's quite funny. I've just had a quick look in the Discord channel, or the Discord server, I should say, just to see if there's anybody in the voice chat, because some of the drivers do like to sit in voice chat with each other. We've actually got Alex Davidson, Pete Newman, and Andy Shield from WSR in there with Jakub Szymanski, Matthew Crisp, and Michael Hafliderson. So it's worth knowing that the top, well, 3 of the top 4 in the championship are all going to be in the same voice chat tonight, which is quite funny. We've also then got Ian Manners. He's in a chat with Martin Kenyon, Matty Wild, and Rob Padgham, who makes his return to the grid this evening in the 52 Racing Machine. Car number 612. As you can see there, Ian just running a little bit wide, to say the least. And yes, we do have more AMs than pros tonight. Good to see you in the chat, Medmo. Hope you're doing well. Let us know if you are watching, wherever you may be watching as well, whether you may be over on Twitch, on Facebook, or on YouTube. I believe we've got a couple of you over on Twitch. I can see all 3 chats over on here on Restream. So if you do send me a message or say hello, and I'll try and get to them, try and read them out. I don't do shout-outs like I'm not BBC Radio 2, but still, if there's conversation to be had, I will be a part of it. Everyone that knows me knows that. We look here, though, at Alex Davidson, the man who's currently on pole position, once again, in this ever evolutionising championship. He's really getting better and better, isn't he? Every single round he just gets quicker and quicker and disappears further and further over the horizon. And I'm doing very well, thank you, Medmo. Yeah, I'm much better. I had a horrendous migraine last week that stayed with me all the way from Monday all the way through till about Thursday night, I think it was. By the time I shook it, it was absolutely horrible. And as somebody, you know, that sits in front of screens pretty much all day every day with the work that I do, I never, you know, I'm sort of immune to getting migraines and headaches, it seems. You know, I never really get them, but all of a sudden it was just, I couldn't bear it. You know, I really couldn't. I was, as I've said a few times, I've been working nights at the hotel down the road, and I was due to do another night shift, and I woke up in the afternoon and I still had this same migraine as when I went to sleep, or tried to get to sleep anyway. And I had to tell them that I just couldn't do it. I could barely see. It was horrible. It really was. But the positive is I'm a lot better now, mate. Thank you. By about Thursday afternoon, it lifted, and then it was one of those things where you hadn't realised that it had gone until you suddenly thought, oh, hang on, my head's not hurting anymore. A few hours later, so not sure what it was, but hopefully I don't have to deal with it again, because it's I don't often get ill, but that was one of the worst ailments I've had for a long time. Really horrible. Anyway, we've got another fantastic race meeting lined up for us tonight. We've got 5 minutes left of this current qualifying session. We look here at Pete Newman, who had a very tough time last time out at Sandown. He said that he visited a lot of the burger vans and food vendors, and that they're very good in Australia. He's going to be hoping that he doesn't have to go and check out the local croissant dealers this evening as well. Can't remember how long it is now I've raced with Pete, but I think since the very first race I did in the BSRTC back in 2014, it would have been, maybe 2015, I raced with Pete in the Kia Optima GTS, and a whole host of other drivers that are names that I still see racing today on iRacing, and covering all forms of different motorsport across the service. And Michael Hafliderson still chasing his teammate Matthew Crisp, I believe. Yes, he is. They're both having a bit of a slow outlap here, hoping to get some clear air and getting a lap together at the end of the session here to try and dethrone whoever they can ahead of them. It's not easy to dethrone Alex Davidson, especially when he is 0.6 of a second clear. It's quite the gap, isn't it, to say the least. Medmo saying the Magny last chicane is perfect woggle combination. Yeah, to explain anybody that's wondering what on earth we're on about, I went to say that a car had a wiggle and a wobble all at the same time a couple of race meetings ago, and we've called it the GR86 woggle that it tends to have. And well, these cars are very susceptible to it. They can kick the back end out and have a big old slide. Since then, it's been deemed the woggle, which I only know as the bit of plastic that used to hold your neckerchief on in the Cub Scouts. But oh well. Now we've actually got our 3 fastest drivers on track all together on the circuit here. Now these two at the front may look like they're not in the same livery. Well, they're not, let's face it. They are actually still teammates though. They've teamed up for this championship of Matthew Crisp and Michael Hafliderson, just to try and take on the Pure Sims cars at the front. Michael Avdoka's not been here for a couple of weeks, unfortunately. We hope to see Michael back on the grid as bye Crispy. Runs very wide. And goes way off the circuit and ends up behind Alex Davidson. Now, I'm not sure if he's done that on purpose or not to get a bit of slipstream. But I think Alex is wise to it. Yeah, he's backed out. He's moved over. He said, not a chance, mate. I'm not falling for that. You are not having my slipstream. That's a really difficult part of the lap, actually, there. The little right-left chicane on the way into Chateau d'Eau. It's called Imola. A lot of these corners are actually named after other circuits as well. Turns, I think it's turn 3, I'd say. The long right-hander is called Estoril, because it's similar to the long right-hander that you get at the end of the lap at Estoril. We've then got Adelaide, which is the tight hairpin at the top, again, similar to the hairpin near the end of the lap at Adelaide. Imola, which I believe is almost a nod to the Villeneuve chicane, but it's just in the opposite direction. And then we've also got Nürburgring, which is the right-left kink that goes over a crest, and I'm not quite sure what that's in reference to, if it is that they're trying to replicate corners from other parts of the world, as Michael has gone off the road, I'm afraid. Overdoing it there during qualifying. Easy to do. He has got his dad out there tonight as well, which is good to see. Hafli Johansson pushing on and getting more and more experience under his belt. Now here's a turn up for the books. Joining late on in the session is Akram Zinoune, the Moroccan driver. Jumps into tonight's session. Now he's going to be great to watch. He was awesome at Long Beach. I think he came in and took all 3 or at least 2 AM wins, I think it was. He was very, very impressive. You can see he's pushing the car now as well, sliding the rear end out slightly. Just giving it everything he's got. Through the last sector once again, you can see a bit of hesitation over the curbs. Through the first couple of corners as well. There's massive commitment needed around this circuit. You have to really throw it around. As the session now comes to an end, it looks like it's going to be this man, Alex Davidson, on pole position. And he knows it as well, a bit of a weave across the line. And I think he's going to do a practice start here as well, or just a couple anyway. He's just going to sit there, is he? Oh no, as soon as I click away, he does a practice start. He was waiting for me, wasn't he? He was waiting to make sure that I'm not picking up on what he's doing. It's interesting to see this, though, that the drivers do this even in the sim as well, isn't it? Quite like that. There's a wonderful view of the final chicane here at Magny-Cours. It's a great, great circuit that a friend of mine, Jack Werrell, is actually travelling to in the next couple of days. He's going to be heading over there to commentate on Clio Cup, which is the European tour that Renault do with their amazing Clio Cup championship. And I tell you what, they always entertain around here. So if you are about on the weekend and you want to watch some good fun racing, then watch Jack and listen in, and that'll be a great source of entertainment for your weekend, I can tell you. Around the final corner there, that's Hafli Johansson just coming around the final corner, actually. And I think Akram Zinoune is going to get a chance to finish his lap here. He throws it over the curbs. Where does he go? He was bottom of the board. I'm not sure if the lap was valid, though, and it was not, I'm afraid. So Akram Zinoune was not able to move himself from the bottom of the grid. Marcus Adams is going to take 4th spot on the grid, which is going to be the highest placed AM. That's a really, really strong effort. But right now, qualifying is going to just tick over to the race session. I hope, in just a minute. And then we'll be able to get things underway with the first grid of the night. And you can hear a lot of the ambience which iRacing has added in around the circuit over time. They've done a great job with uprating things on the sim in terms of an audio perspective, making it a bit more of an event, so to speak. So let's get our first grid of the night underway, shall we? Alex Davidson on pole position with Matthew Crisp alongside him. Then it's Michael Hafliderson and Marcus Adams, the highest placed AM driver, on row 2. Then we have Pete Newman and Magic Sakovic, Matty Wild and James Neve on row 4. Ian Manners and his teammate Rob Padgham fill row 5. And then we have Hafli Johansson and Martin Kenyon on row 6. On the back row of the grid, good to see Jakub Szymanski back in the championship and Akram Zinune making a return as well. So it's going to get very, very busy here at Magny-Cours. There's going to be a lot to look at. Let us know in the chat who you've got your eye on. Because there's a number of drivers here that can spring a surprise, especially in the AM class as well. But can anybody beat Alex Davidson? Can they catch up with him? He's having a blink in and out again, actually. He does this. Matthew Crisp is effectively on the inside for turn 1 here, but it's not going to matter for much because turn 2, as you go around to the right-hand side at Estoril, is very, very tough. Medmo saying, let's go Matty Wild. Matty's just there in the yellow machine on their right of the grid anyway. Alex Davidson on pole, though. Certainly has a lot to hold on to. Just needs to make sure that he scores consistent points for his championship title. Davidson and pole, Crisp alongside, and round 22 of the World GR86 series gets underway from Magny-Cours. There's a bit of hesitance from the front row, but it seems like they boost away almost in the second phase from Marcus Adams. He's got a huge gap in front of him. Magic Sakovic into the middle, hits the side of Pete Newman. He's got James Neve right behind him now as well, but look at the top 3 stuck together, and then it's the rest of the pack following on behind. Pete Newman chasing down Marcus Adams as they exit Estoril. He's had to lift out of it there, though he's pushed a bit too hard, and it's one of those corners where you don't know if you've pushed too hard till later on around it. Newman goes through up into 4th. Marcus moves over to block Magic Sakovic from coming through as well. And down onto the brakes, into the hairpin we go, down at Adelaide. It's all nip and tuck through there, isn't it? But it's all nice and tidy. Here's Akram Zinune at the back of the grid, side by side with car 995, which is Jakub Szymanski. And Zinune still side by side with Jakub, actually, as they go through the chicane at Nürburgring. He goes through on the right, clips the curb slightly, but is ahead. Alex Davidson leading the race has actually gapped Matthew Crisp quite a lot, and Hafliderson has been overtaken by Pete Newman as well, so not quite sure what's happened here, but there's been some shimmying around. Has Hafley got a slowdown or something? He has, yeah. Or has he? Yes, yeah, he's got a slowdown penalty, and then Pete Newman's just slid down the inside. Coming to the end of the first lap. And you can see everybody's just holding station at this moment in time, just sort of assessing what's going on around them. Got to be so careful over that curb for the first time, but look at Alex Davidson, man. He has absolutely disappeared over the horizon in these early stages. And once again, he's now actually got his teammate Pete Newman in second position as well. He could act as a tail gunner. Crispy goes a little bit deep in the first stage of Estoril, but then he's going to try and tuck it back down the inside. Him and Hafley are going to have to work together here to go forward. In the AMS, it's actually Magic Sakovic that's lost a lot of ground. Szymanski's had an issue as well further back. I think actually when James Neve has overtaken Sakovic, he's lost a bunch of ground after this. Oh, Magic got a slowdown, that'll be why. Pulls over to the right-hand side. And everybody just glides on by past Magic. Look at this lot. There's been a move for second place. Matthew Crisp now ahead of Pete Newman. One way, then the other. I love that shot of them going through the chicane, then hard onto the brakes at the long left-hander, which is just called 180. such a cool circuit. Such a cool circuit. So Davidson leads by 4.2 seconds as of right now over Matthew Crisp, who's then got Pete Newman, Michael Hafliderson, and then all of the AM drivers right behind. Marcus Adams leads them. You can tell the pros and AMs apart. The pros have got the red little highlights on the edges of their windscreen banners and red number boards on the cars. Sorry. As, oh dear, Matty Wild has gone around. He's got a little bit of damage on the front, I think, or has he? No, it might have just been the lighting playing tricks on me, but he's had a bit of a drama here at Chateau d'Eau. Is he just going to hit the curb and loop it? Yep. We've all done that before. Apparently Martin Kenyon went off the road. Oh dear. Just a little bit wide out of there. And Marcus Adams, from the front of the AM class, has had a drama here. James Neve has gone through. Is Marcus going to do the same thing? Is he just going to hit one of these really big curbs on the inside of the corner, lift it up and over-rotate it? Yeah. Oh no. Oh dearie me. There's more contact as well. Magic Sakovic involved in that. That was a big, big hit, that was, for Marcus. I believe it was Rob Padgham that hit him. This is on board with Rob. You'll see Magic Sakovic there. Actually, it was Ian Manners that hit him. Then Sakovic hit Manners. Padgham had to slam on and get out of it there. Wow. As there's more and more smoke actually down at the hairpin. Akram Zinnoune has had a drama there. He's the one that's gone off at Adelaide, or at least come to a stop at Adelaide. Let's see if there was anyone else involved. He's on the outside of Rob Padgham, but I think he's maybe just going to try and get a cutback, and yeah, he's just tucked it in too tight, I'm afraid, but he lights it up and styles it out on the exit. Doesn't take up the whole circuit coming back on, so it's not so bad. But this is the battle for second, third and fourth. Basically the last few positions in the pro class here. We've only got 4 pro drivers on our grid tonight, which is a shame. Looking at some of the times to see if there's anybody making big strides. Ian Manners is into the pits. I imagine he's got big damage and needs to fix that car. He'll have probably got a meatball flag after the contact earlier with the stationary Marcus Adams. There's a lot of personal best lap times coming in there, as you can see a bit further down the order. Jakub Szymanski here ahead of Matty Wild. This is for what is going to be 6th and 7th in the AM class at the moment. But this is for the top 10 overall. A quick reminder as well, everybody, that tonight we do still have our spinny wheel. We'll just quickly show it you. So we're going to spin this wheel a little bit later, and that is going to decide the grid, or how many drivers get reversed on the grid for races 2 and 3. As Matty Wild now looks down the inside of Jakub Szymanski into Adelaide. He's later on the brakes, but then he slams on. He doesn't want to make a mess of it. And he goes back ahead. More movement going on here. Hafliderson's had a slowdown penalty again, I think, through that chicane. He's now side by side with Newman there, having a bit of a scrap. Pete leaves him a bit of room on the right-hand side. That opens up a gap for Crispy to get away. And James Neve, well, he's got a front row seat in all this right now. He can just sit and watch these guys battle. This is going to be interesting. Through the chicane, Imola. Oh, and Hafliderson holds on as they go up into Chateau d'Eau. I was expecting a little lunge there by Pete Newman, but he decides against it. You could hear the revs build up there as the car hopped sideways over the curb, went up on 2 wheels. I'll tell you what, it's a busy old circuit, isn't it? You don't get a moment's rest here as James Neve a little bit sideways. Certainly pushing on though, isn't he? And he's doing a good job at leading the AM class at the moment. This is the battle between Jakub Szymanski and Matty Wild as Matty decides that he's going to get out of the way of that, just in case Jakob comes bouncing over the curb and smacks into him. It's easy to do that here, to just hit one of the very big curbs that tiny bit too hard, and it throws your car at your rival's car. Sissa Flyderson still ahead of Pete Newman for this moment in time. We all know how quickly it can switch around. But at the moment, it's Alexander Davidson that is doing the job. Flying out at the front of the field. Nobody can get anywhere near him, can they? He's just got such insatiable pace. Like, he's just quick everywhere. It doesn't look like there's much that the others can do at the moment, if I'm honest with you. Throwing it through the chicane as well. It's not like he's doing this in an overly tidy sort of robotic way, you know, where there's no drama to it. You know, you can see that the lap is fast, and normally in motorsport they do say that if it looks fast, it's probably not. And, you know, if it looks tidy and reserved, then it's probably quicker. And right now, Alex has got a bit of everything going on with his laps. He's going very, very quick, but it looks like he's going quick as well. Here's the battle behind Matthew Crisp, Flyderson and Pete Newman. Oh, and Crisp having a bit of a wobble there over the chicane, actually. Getting slightly out of shape, to say the least. Doesn't allow her Flyderson to come through, but Pete Newman has dropped off the pair of them now. Medmo says Davidson for all 3 wins tonight, he thinks. Well, I'd love to disagree, but I think we may be looking at that. We'll have to see what these guys do, because don't forget, these two are teammates. But they're still battling each other, and in the background, James Neve has got past Pete Newman. James Neve, who leads the AM class, now takes another position overall and moves up into 4th spot. Movement further down, Matty Wilde and Jakub Szymanski still battling away as well. These two having a good scrap here, aren't they? They seem to be enjoying themselves. It's races like this that you want, you know, even if you're not fighting for overall wins and podiums and so on. As long as you can have some close racing with a rival of yours that's on a similar pace, then what's not to love? Just looking now at the times. Oh no, just as I look away, Jakub Szymanski drops it at 180. Does not quite a 180. Gets back going again, but Ian Manners moves away up the road, and Martin Kenyon is going to go through on the right hand side. Martin was saying in the chat earlier he was really looking forward to tomorrow, and it's definitely worth sticking around and watching Chaz Draycott Media tomorrow night, because the first round of Season 2 of the CDM Formula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com will be here. Not sure if Marcus Adams is going to be there, but he certainly wanted to exit stage right there for a second, didn't he? Really kicking the back end of the car out. I've only just noticed actually that Andy Scheel is not on track tonight. Don't know why I've only just noticed that. Oh, Jakob throws it into the wall. Oh, and he's hit not just the tyre barrier, but also the concrete wall there as well. Let's have a look at just how easy this is to do. Watch it over the curb. This car goes around so easily like that, and oh, he gets really unlucky with that contact with the barrier there, actually. But he continues on. So too does this. Battle for second position between Michael Hafliderson and Matthew Crisp. Pete Newman's now 3.8 seconds behind this. And Pete was looking strong in the early stages of the race. He was able to get in front of these guys, but since then he's unfortunately dropped away. And it's the AM Racing team that are now just battling away for the sort of runner-up spot, so to speak. But it's Davidson leading the charge. Haflider Johansson is just in front of Akram Zinune, who carries amazing pace through Imola. Wow. That was incredible stuff. Great pace around the outside of Imola and then down the inside into Chateau d'Eau. And that's exactly what you need to do. Lovely move that by Akram Zinune. We'll go back and have a look on board. He's definitely one of the quickest in the AM class as well. He qualified on pole, I believe, at Long Beach. But look, he lines it up, ready to throw it around the outside. Haflidy tries to just move him over to the right a little bit, but he gets it stopped beautifully. He seems rather unfazed by that. He's now going to go chasing after Rob Padgham, as there is a move further up as Crispy now goes ahead of Hafliderson. So close together though, aren't they? Matthew Crisp in that gorgeous AM Racing Team livery based on, I believe it's a livery from an old Hurricane, Hawker Hurricane from World War II. And Jakub Szymanski also driving in this livery. It could be a Hurricane, it could be a Spitfire, could even be a Typhoon. I don't think Typhoons ran those roundels with the yellow around the outside. I'm not quite sure what the yellow signified, actually. I think it might have just been to make it easier to spot. Look at the way these cars change direction through there. They're such squirty little machines, aren't they? One way, then the other. As I'm afraid Jakub Szymanski has had one final off. And he's been off at the chicane again. It looks like the same incident, actually. Oh, no, sorry, it was after this. He's been into the pits of his own accord. I think he's had a drama somewhere. Yeah, he's decided to bring the car into the pits. I think he might have had a meatball flag or something. The black and orange flag, often known as a meatball flag, means basically the car is too damaged. You need to bring it in and get it fixed. Alex Davidson, though, is just in a league of his own, isn't he? He's looking very, very happy. Just looking at the times, he actually did the fastest lap of the race last time round, 1:55.37. And the guys behind are doing 55.9s and 56.1s. So not quite the same pace. Martin Kenyon and Marcus Adams have come to blows here. Oh, dearie me. It's just, it's hard to call that, but I just think it's a difference in pace that sometimes these drivers, when they're coming flying through the pack, they're not quite expecting any sort of checkups or anything, you know. They're so focused on moving back forward through the field. But Martin, you know, innocently lost the back end, and Marcus, I think, just expected the car to maybe wash out of the way slightly. But he just wasn't prepared to have to check up that much and suddenly come to a stop, I'm afraid. But we have Matthew Crisp still chasing down his teammate Michael Hafliderson. I think these two are sort of working together right now to just move away from everybody behind them, you know. I don't think that they want to battle too much and hold each other up. Look at the way they have to be quite hesitant to follow each other so closely around somewhere like Estoril. Because the thing is, if you overcommit there, you have to really check up. Especially if you've got a teammate in front of you, or just any other car for that matter. You don't want to go into the back of them, and you don't want to have to slam on the brakes as well and make a big adjustment here. We've seen in this car that major sort of mid-corner adjustments can really throw the thing off the road. And these cars do love an overcorrect. They'll slide one way and then throw themselves at a wall the other. But James Neve, he's having quite an easy race at the front of the AM class. Magny-Cours is second in said class though. He's recovered up to second place, 6th overall. That's where he started this race as well actually. James Neve started 8th on the grid. Akram Zanoune has moved up 7 spots into 3rd as well. He's having a right flyer. Once again, a really impressive driver in this series is Akram. It's a shame we've not had him the whole season to challenge the guys at the very top. And Medmo, I've only just seen your messages, sorry, saying that the yellow outer on the roundels was the distinction of the World War II RAF instead of the World War I RAF. I did not know that. I did not know that. Now I know my aircraft quite well, but that's again something I didn't know. Every day is a school day, as they say. Here's Matty Wild, hoping to take Herflidi Johansson to school right now as he looks on his left-hand side. There's only just about a car's width there. Manages to slide on through like he's made of butter. They break about at the same time. Johansson puts his nose back down the inside. Wild sort of compensates for it. But then eventually the DCW racing machine gets through and gets ahead. We're on to the final lap of the race now for Alex Davidson. Well, and everyone else that's on it. But he's had a flawless run, hasn't he, at the moment. 11.7 seconds over this pair that are still fighting away. As Crispy has now sent one down the inside of Herfliderson. I think Herfliderson's actually sent one down the inside of him on the way in, and then he's had to sort of cut back on him. Through Nürburgring into 180. Hard on the brakes now. The car nose dips down as Herfliderson throws one up the inside of Crispy. He gave a very animated interview last time out at Sandown, swearing quite a lot about Matthew Crisp and the fact that the two of them were in a big accident together, but it's not Alcantec if it's not teammates crashing into each other. Oh, Matty Wild and Herflidi Johansson have come to blows. They've had a drama further down the order. We might have to look back at that when the race is over. But look at this now. Big send by Crispy. Herfliderson's going to have him back. I don't want to look to the front. We've got Alex Davidson about to round the final corner and take another incredible victory, and he's going to surely have one hand on the trophy now in terms of the championship. But what are these pair going to do? The very entertaining AM Racing team. Flying formation, smoke on go. It's going to be Herfliderson that's going to take it surely over Matthew Crisp. He does, and oh, I think Crispy got a slowdown or something. Did he get a slowdown? He slammed on the brakes. Does that mean Pete Newman gets third? I don't know. James Neve takes the win in the AM class. Magny-Cours is going to finish second. And third is going to go the way of Akram Zanoune. Well, once again, Alex Davidson showing everybody that he's the class of the field. He just absolutely disappeared, didn't he? Wow. Okay, what we've got to very quickly do, though, while the rest of the drivers are finishing, we do get on with this very quickly here, so please do forgive me if we cut away from anybody here. But we need to bring up the spinny wheel, because what we're going to do is spin this and let the admins of the championship know what the reverse grid number is. So basically, all of these positions that you see here will get reversed. It's probably going to be a big one. And I believe it is going to be 21. Yes, it's going to sit on 21. So, a full reverse grid then, except for the drivers that were a number of laps down, basically. So we let those guys know, and then they will obviously start setting up the next session. So let's have a look at some race results, shall we? Because they've just popped in now and just populated on my software. So Alex Davidson takes the win by 14.7 seconds over Michael Herfliderson. Pete Newman does finish third as Matthew Crisp falls all the way down the order because of that slowdown penalty. That's going to help him for the race 2 grid for sure, but that's not ideal, is it? James Neve takes 4th place and wins the AM class with that performance. And then after that, we have Maciej Sakovic, who actually ends up rounding out the top 5 in that race. So very well done to Maciej. Very solid performance indeed. And then Akram Zinune recovers to 6th place ahead of Rob Padgham and Ian Manners, the 252 Racing teammates. Matty Wilde and Haflida Johansson round out the top 10. Then it's Matthew Crisp all the way down in 11th after that slowdown penalty. Martin Kenyon 12th, and then Marcus Adams and Jakub Szymanski 2 laps down and 4 laps down respectively. Okie dokie then, it's just about time to go to the first break of the evening, everybody. I'm just going to go and get everything sorted in the background. My adverts have been playing up a little bit at the moment though, so unfortunately there will not be any adverts running on this next ad break, so to speak, but I'll try and get them fixed during the next race for the next one. So for now, just enjoy the music, and I'll see you again very, very soon.
And you know how to forget all the wrongs and every reason why we've changed. And there's a storm inside my head. It's getting me in trouble, baby, and I can't break away. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy.
Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott here on Chaz Draycott Media for the World Sim Racing World GR86 series. We're here for the second race of the night here at Magny-Cours. It's an amazing circuit in France. It is a hell of a lot of fun to race around, and it looks like the drivers have all been enjoying themselves so far as well. We've had the first race of the night completed. We're just in the warm-up session now between the two races, and the drivers are preparing for more action in these wonderful little Toyota GR86s. Let me know wherever you are watching from around the world, wherever you may be. Had some fantastic feedback so far from people. It's always good to see you lot in the YouTube chat. If you want, actually, Medmo, I'm not sure if I can. I've only made a little playlist for. Hang on, sorry, I'm doing that thing again where I just stop talking halfway through a sentence. I'll see whether, just for you, Medmo, I can pop a link to this on Spotify in my YouTube chat, and I'll see whether I can pop it in there for you. I'm not sure if this will work or not, but there is the playlist. I've literally just got a tiny playlist of 10 songs that I play throughout the streams, just for when, well, basically when we're interviewing people, and also when we do the sort of post-race and pre-race bits. Matthew Crisp is currently fastest in the warm-up session, but he's sat in the pits now as the session is about to come to a close. And everybody will be done with their final laps, ready for the next race. We have a reverse grid to think about, of course, as well. So some drivers will be starting further back, but don't have as many cars to make their way through in these later rounds of the season. Unfortunately, the grid numbers have dropped. Let's have a look then at our grid, shall we? Marcus Adams on pole position alongside Martin Kenyon. Matthew Crisp is going to be third alongside Herflady Johansson. Matty Wild and Ian Manners make up row 3. Then it's Rob Padgham and Akram Zinune. Maciej Sakovic and James Neve head-to-head in the AM class and head-to-head on the grid tonight as well. Pete Newman and Michael Herfladerson are on row 6, with Alex Davidson starting in 13th place. So then, Marcus Adams will be starting on pole on the left-hand side of his shot there in the yellow, the Dayglow Yellow Wiener Semantics machine. Oh, I'm glad the link worked, actually, Medmo. There is a link to the Spotify playlist in chat if anyone wants it. But that's not for now because the next round is about to get underway. Round 23 of the World GR86 series from Magny-Cours is underway. There's a lot of smoke from one side of the grid. Looks like Johansson doesn't get going at all. Great start by Matthew Crisp. He needs to take this opportunity now to win this race outright for AM Racing Team as Marcus is out of control. He's all over the place. I'm not sure if he got a hit there from Martin Kenyon behind him. But wow, it got very, very busy very, very quickly. On board with Herfladerson now. You can see James Neve on the left, and that is Rob Padgham on the right. Neve's run wide. Sakovic is behind Herfladerson there. There he is in the yellow and green car just pushing through. Or trying to push through anyway. We go down towards Adelaide for the first time. Let's see what the field make of this. Looks like Zanune's trying to go past Matty Wilde a little bit further up as well. Martin Kenyon and Marcus Adams are just out of shot. Some of them very late on the brakes. There's contact. Johansson into one of the 52 racing cars. Sakovic into Padgham. I think Johansson went into the back of... Who was it that he went into the back of? Not quite sure who he actually made contact with there, to be honest with you. Apparently no race sound coming through. It's really strange. I've got it activated on OBS. But yeah, apparently no race sound coming through. That's really, really weird. And if you bear with me, everybody, you are going to see the overlay pop up. We'll make sure that we've got this selected. Yeah, it's set to the right set of speakers and so on. I can hear it. I'm not quite sure why it's not coming through on here. Oh, it doesn't seem to be picking up the... Oh, no. There's been a big drama at the back. Rob Padgham, Pete Newman and Haflida Johansson involved. Big dramas there. And there's big dramas in the world of OBS as well, by the look of it. For some reason, it's not... Yeah, it's just not picking up iRacing at all. Let me just see if I can get it to do this again. No, it's the electric GR86 Championship. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure why that is. I really don't know why that is. But iRacing making no noise whatsoever, is it? Not even if I turn it up or anything. Oh, that's really frustrating. Let me try and... No, it's not muted at the source, Rob. Trust me, I'd know about that one. That's really, really strange. Really, really strange. I've not had that before. Typical technology, isn't it? Absolutely typical. So Matthew Crisp leads the way. Marcus Adams second. Akram Zanune next up. Then Martin Kenyon. Then Michael Hafliderson. Alexander Davidson in sixth place, just behind him. Ian Manners is seventh. Then Magic Sakovic just in front of James Neve for this AM class lead. But there is Crispy, your race leader at the moment. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly why it's not giving me any sound whatsoever. I'm really sorry. We can change the sound output or something and try and see if we can get it to come through somewhere else, but not got a clue why. And Matty Wilde is in the pits after that earlier incident. Oh, actually, no, it wasn't him involved in this earlier incident, was it? So, oh, James just tries to cut back down the inside of Johansson. And, oh, there's a secondary bit of contact behind, which is Pete Newman and the 52 racing machine of Rob Padgham that come together. Yeah, I can see that OBS is making sound, which is daft, isn't it? That's really, really strange. I'm not sure if I can... Yeah, let me just try and sort out the audio source again, everybody. So just bear with me, and I will get this figured out. We'll keep our eyes on Matthew Crisp for just a moment, so you can see exactly what he's got going on. I wonder if we need to change from one scene to the next or something. This is literally live sort of troubleshooting right now. So I'm sorry. But I'm really not sure why it did that. If I just quickly change to this and then back again, no, there's no sound coming out from iRacing at all. Oh, that's so stupid, isn't it? Why though? Why though, iRacing? Why? That's the question. Why on earth? Anyway, the battle is still on for the race lead here. Crispy can't seem to get away from Marcus Adams. He's got a lot of pressure from behind. Marcus is doing a great job actually at leading this AM class at the moment, because he's got Akram Zanoune just behind him. He was ready to pounce when necessary. But the three of them are all glued together. Let's just see if we can do this. No. Still nothing. That's really, really odd. It's all enabled and everything on... yeah. I don't know. I really don't know what to say, everybody. I'm so sorry, but there's no reason for it not to come through. I'm not sure if there's been some sort of problem with my audio mixer or something. I'm not sure. Not sure whether turning it off and on again could do it, because it's separate to the PC, you see. I'll have to see what comes up here, but... I'm asking for Windows to look at it and tell it to do something, but again, it just needs to come up in here, doesn't it? Because if we just change it to, I don't know, one of my other headsets or something. Now I've got no sound at all, so I can't hear that, obviously, because I've changed that. Put it back to this. Maybe if we go for direct sound. I wonder whether X Audio 2 has stopped working or something. No, there's still nothing coming out. Isn't this fun? This is just like one of my normal streams. As if I was playing a game or something by myself. So we've got silent cars for this next race by the look of it, because the only thing I can think that would fix it would be a change of, or a refresh at least. It definitely seems like there's a problem somewhere though, because no matter what I do in terms of turning the volume up and down, it doesn't get any louder or quieter at my end, which is strange. You might have to bear with me here, everybody, while these guys continue to battle on. Have you got me? It seems like the Sims crashed now. Oh, the joys. Yep, apparently there is now an issue with the sim. So I'm really sorry, everybody. But if you bear with me, we'll have to... Yeah, it's just kicked me out of the sim now. It's kicked me out of all of it. Oh, this is all so much fun, isn't it? Well, if you bear with me, everybody, I'm just going to have to put some music on or something, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Sorry. And not even Spotify's making a noise now either, so something has definitely gone terribly wrong here. I'm not sure at all what has caused this. If I knew what the problem was, then I would fix it. I'm really sorry, everyone. But I don't really know what else to say right now. There's music playing in the background, I can tell you that for free. Might have to restart some programs and see whether they kick out some sound when I restart them or something. There's only one way to find out, I guess. And that's to just do it. Yeah, Spotify isn't kicking out any noise either, so this may be a quick reset of the stream, I'm afraid, everyone. So if you bear with me 2 secs, I'm going to have to just reset the feed or something here, because it's not playing ball, is it, at all? It really isn't.